What is going on YouTube? Steven, the Salon Guy here, and today's video is about why your haircut is more important than playing Fortnite. Now, I am an old school gamer, all right? The first time I encountered an actual video game was on a little computer called Commodore 64, all right? So some of you old school like gaming, tech buffs will be like, whoa, a Commodore 64? I was actually, well, I'm showing my age, but when I was in grammar school, I was probably, I would say probably about 6th grade, so probably maybe 1985 maybe or so, is when I experienced seeing an actual video game on a little box, which is called the Commodore 64. Then it went to Atari 2800, or no, 2600, and then all these gaming machines, Sega Genesis, and they've all progressed over the years. So I've been playing video games since I was like a young kid, okay? And I know there's an obsession with video games. I have kind of an obsession with video games. I've done numerous gaming characters' haircuts on my channel, which is really, really cool. Now, speaking about Fortnite, everybody is obsessed with Fortnite. And I believe the new game is called Apex, I believe. Seems what I'm calling the Fortnite killer. Everyone seems to be switching over to that. I have not become a huge Fortnite player. However, the obsession with Fortnite is almost as bad as how World of Warcraft was. All right, I was an old school World of Warcraft player. And I played the game when it first came out on my PC. My main character I was Horde, so I was an undead warlock. That was my first main character I had. And then I switched over my character to a DPS warrior, which I know a lot of people talk about warriors not having any DPS capabilities, but I stood very firmly against that statement. I was very protective of my warrior. But anyway, I'm totally geeking out in video games. But why is your haircut as important as Fortnite and all these things? And this is why I want to talk about this. I get so many questions from people. Steven, I want to grow my hair out. Steven, I want to grow my hair. I want to do this. I want to do that. Who do I go to? Okay? Do I go to a barber? Do I go to a hairstylist? Every time I go for a trim, it gets messed up. Steven, help me. What do I do? Okay. This is why it's very, very important. You have to take your hair just as seriously as video games. Because I know a lot of us are hooked on video games and we're very obsessed with it. And there's a lot of us that are obsessed with hair, okay? And here's what you need to do. I'm just gonna be honest with you guys, what you need to do in order to make sure you find a good haircut, how to know whether to go to a barber or a stylist. So if you're growing your hair out, right? In my most recent video with Andrew, okay? Andrew, the guitar player, the super good looking dude with the amazing hair, I've gotten so many comments on that video about, I'm trying to grow my hair like that. I want my hair just like Andrew's. I want it longer. Who do I go to, a barber or a stylist? Okay. In my experience as a stylist, stylists are more trained to work with longer haircuts, whether it's women's hair, medium length hair, men's hair. We just kind of understand the foundation of haircutting, from the layering process to how to hold the hair up. We're just more comfortable with longer hair. Just like some hairstylists may not be super comfortable with clippers and doing skin tight fades, it's the same thing, all right? And yes, nowadays there's hybrids. There's hybrids out there of stylists who are great with doing, fades. I do tons of men's work, and I used to do a lot of it a long time ago too. So, and there's also a lot of barbers nowadays who are really grasping the concept of haircutting and training themselves. So there are some hybrids out there now. But if you're in a pinch and you want to grow your hair longer, I would suggest going to a hairstylist. Now, here is the most important thing. This is what makes it crucial. How do you find that right person? What you need to do is, whatever town you live in, think of a distance you're willing to travel to see a hairstylist or professional, and start to look up people in the area, or salons or barbershops in the area on Instagram. All right, or see if they have a website. Usually the websites of like a barbershop or a hair salon, they will have the staff. Look up that staff member on Instagram. Look up the kind of work they're doing. So if you find a place, I found, Steven's barbershop it's 5 minutes away from me, or 20 minutes away, I'm willing to travel. Let me look him up, and you find Steven. And you go to Steven's Instagram page, and all Steven does is like short haircuts. Tight fades, skin fades, really short hair, or maybe specializes in ethnic hair mostly, like, not much Caucasian hair, and you say to yourself, this guy doesn't have one photo of like the haircut that I want. Don't go to that guy. It's plain simple. Doesn't mean he's bad. He's awesome at what he does, but in order to get the proper haircut while you're growing it out or looking for something specific, you need to find someone who understands how to work with hair, how to cut it properly so it grows out, okay? Now, on the flip side, you find someone, you've got really long hair and you want to go super short, then you look up a barber and you look up what's in that area and you go, oh my gosh, I found a place that's 10 minutes away, it's got great reviews, look on Yelp, look on Facebook, do your research. Look up the staff members and find that person you want to go to. You have to do a little research. That's what I'm saying. If it's just as important as playing video games, because we're all obsessed with video games, you have to be that obsessed with how you want your hair to come out, because I'm getting so many comments from people that are just miserable and out of their minds about, I can't find someone, I haven't never got a good haircut, all these crazy things. And I'm like, well, what kind of research are you doing? Like, what kind of research are you doing to find who to cut your hair? You don't just randomly walk into a barber shop and say, I want to look like, Matthew McConaughey when he had longer hair, or Brad Pitt from Legends of the Fall. Like, you can't just do that, So you need to do some research. And, you have to find out what kind of work these people are doing. And it's really the same thing. If you're looking for a barber type work, you're looking for a hairstylist for that type of work, just really, find out what you want and then look up who you think is the best person to do it. Then it comes down to price, how much you're willing to pay, how far you're willing to drive, do they have an opening, how far are they booked out, all that stuff. The last thing I would suggest doing is randomly walking in unless like 100% it's a great place, So, I guess that's really pretty much it. And, show pictures. I always get questions on, what do I say to my barber, what do I say to my stylist? Show photos or videos of the work you want. And if they can't duplicate it, then it's not a good sign. But also, your hair might not be, the right texture or the right shape or whatever for that look either. It's also another issue. And also, when you're growing your hair out, that's also the biggest question I get is like, how do I grow it out? I cut hair to actually grow out. So you need someone to shape it and tell you this haircut will last you 4 months. I can cut your hair right now, and I do this all the time. I can cut your hair, and I know in 4 months it'll be exactly what you want. Don't touch it. Don't mess around with it. Just let it grow out. You gotta find people that are that good. If you're that obsessed with your hair like you are with video games. So that's it. I've rambled on enough. I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, leave comments down below, but also let me know if this video did help you, because I really like to know if I'm bringing you guys some value. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time for more videos with The Salon Guy.